Hello, everyone. This is our second lesson in the Spanish series. And last lesson, we covered some basic grammar. So this lesson, I'm going to go over some basic vocabulary. Even though the series is mostly about grammar, I'll include some vocabulary now and then. So first, colors and adverbs of location. Starting with colors, some basic ones. Yellow is amarillo. Orange is anaranjado. Blue is azul. By now, you probably know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the English word and how to pronounce the Spanish word. You can take notes on this from the screen and pause if you want. White is blanco. Gray is gris. Brown is marron, or you can also say pardo. Purple is morado. Black is negro. Red is rojo. Pink is rosado. Green is verde. Adverbs of location, and these describe where something is. So here is an example. Here in Spanish is aquí. There is allí. Remember that the double L, it sounds like a Y, not an L. So it's allí, not ali. To the right is a la derecha. To the left is a la izquierda. And straight is derecho. You need the a la derecha and a la izquierda. You need the a la because that's the to the. Moving on, we have some more common adjectives. Notice that colors are also adjectives. Happy is alegre. Inexpensive or cheap is barato. Pretty is bonito. Good is bueno. And this is a very common adjective. Tired is cansado. Happy is contento. Expensive, the opposite of inexpensive, is caro. Delicious is delicioso. Difficult is difícil. These both sound like the English word themselves, so it should be easy based on context. Sick is enfermo. Angry is enojado. Excellent is excelente. Easy is fácil. Fantastic is fantástico. Happy, as mentioned previously, is alegre, but it can also be feliz. You'll hear feliz more often. An example is Feliz Navidad, means happy or merry Christmas. Ugly is feo. Strong is fuerte. Big is grande. Handsome is guapo. And this can be used for people only. Horrible is horrible. Intelligent is inteligente, not intelligente, it's inteligente in Spanish. Interesting is interesante. Young is joven. Small is pequeño. Poor is pobre. Rich is rico. Delicious is sabroso. We mentioned previously it's delicioso. You can use either one. Nice is simpático. Sad is triste. And old is viejo. Interrogatives. And interrogatives seems like a fancy word, but it's just questions, question words, like who, what, when. So how in Spanish is como. Where is donde. Who is quién or quiénes. What is qué. If you have que before ser, which we'll talk about later, it's a definition. An example of this is que es ahí. What is there? So you define what is there. Cuál or cuáles is which or which ones. And cuáles is used for plural. Again, before said, this time it's a choice from various possibilities. So you can say ¿Cuál es la fecha? Because you have like 365 possibilities of the date. ¿Por qué is why. ¿Cuánto is how much. ¿Cuánta is the feminine of how much. How many is different than how much in Spanish. This is just the plural. ¿Cuántos or cuántas? When is cuando. Notice that all the interrogatives have an accent mark. These don't affect the pronunciation. Days, months, and seasons. So day in Spanish is el día. Notice that it ends with an A, but it still has an L. This is an exception to the gender rule we talked about in the first video. So parts of the day, there's morning is la mañana, afternoon is la tarde, night is la noche. Remember in the first video when I said it's buenos días, that's the los días, and buenas tardes, las tardes, buenas noches, las noches. That's the difference between them. This is masculine while these two are feminine. Week is la semana, and the days of the week. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, and domingo. Feel free to pause and write this down anytime you need. To say on Mondays, I play basketball, you say los lunes, I play basketball. Translate that to Spanish. Year is año. And month is mes. The months of the year, enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, and diciembre. Season is el estación. This can also be translated to the station, but in this case, we translate it to the season. And the seasons in Spanish are la primavera, spring, el verano, summer, el otoño, autumn, el invierno, winter. Numbers. So cardinal numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, the basics. But ordinal numbers are first, second, third. They show order. So here are the first few cardinal numbers. 0, cero, 1, uno, 2, dos, 3, tres. You probably know these already. It's pretty common. Then we have cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, and nueve. Just repeat those and soon you'll get the hang of it. Then we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Notice that these four, you usually just add 6, 7, 8, 9 to 10. You change the Z to a C. 16 has an accent that is not in 6, but that's the only exception. Then from then on, it's 20. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. This is similar to these ones. You add 1, 2, 3, and so on to the 20, change the E to an I. Some have accents. 2, 3, and 6 have accents. 30 is 30. 31 is 31, not 31 as one word, but as 3 different words. 32 is 33, and so on and so forth. Now, every time you come across something like 85, you say the word for 80, then you have an E, and then you say the word for 5. So 40 would be 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 100. Now, to say something like 101, you won't say 101, you would say 101. More on that on the next slide. And same with the later ones too. For 201, you say 201. So 100 is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, not 500, 600, 700, no I here, that's an exception. 800, 900, not 900. So 500, 700, and 900 are the main exceptions. And then 1,000 is mil, and a million is un millón. Un millón. Now, some rules for cardinal numbers. Uno always becomes un before a masculine noun. This refers to words like 21 becomes 21. And like I said, 21 becomes 21, but there's an accent on the U. 31 becomes 31. Like I said, it drops O before a masculine noun. 100 plus number, like I said, is ciento. 2,000 is 2,000, 3,000 is 3,000, and so on. No exceptions here. Millón needs an article or number before and de after if used as an adjective. So if we're trying to say a million people are in the restaurant, we say un millón de personas, a million people. Plural of million is millones. And now ordinal numbers. These can be used as adjectives and they change to a for feminine. It follows a noun if used for centuries and kings, etc., but it's usually before a noun. For 11 and more, you use noun and then the cardinal number. There are no ordinal numbers for it. So you say el libro 30. That means 30th book. And for 1 and 3, you drop the O before a singular masculine noun. So here's the list. Primero, you can write as primer before a singular masculine noun. Segundo, tercero, same as primero. It becomes tercer. Then cuarto, quinto, sexto, séptimo, octavo, noveno, décimo. These all change to a for feminine, like primera, segunda, and so on. Date and time. So la fecha is the date. And for the first of each month, you use primero. So you say el primero de febrero, February 1st. And for the other ones, use cardinal numbers. So you say el 2 de febrero, February 2nd. La hora, to say what time is it, you say que hora es. To say it's 1 o'clock, you say es la uno. And for every other o'clock, you say son las dos, son las tres. Exactamente or en punto can be used to say it's an exact hour. So you say son las dos exactamente. Más o menos is give or take. So if it's 2:02, you say son las dos más o menos. And you use e to represent minutes after an hour. So you say dos y dos for 2 after 2. Dos menos dos for 1:58. Cuarto is a quarter, so it's 15 minutes. And media is half, so it's 30 minutes. A que hora is at what time. So you can say at what time is the party. A blank is at blank. So you can say the party is at 5 o'clock. And that's it for the vocabulary. That's the biggest chunk of vocabulary you'll get this series, but in other lessons, you'll see some vocabulary here and there. So bye for now. See you next lesson.